Howdy, folks. This is episode 2 of Welcome to My Study. You can tell a lot about a person by what's important to him, what he collects, what he keeps, what he saves instead of throwing away. I want to be able to let you get to know me a little better. So many of you've read my books. Some of you know me because I was your teacher at one point. Some of you know me because you're old too and you've known me for a long time. You've been friends for a lifetime. But others you're relatively new. I'm a new face to you, even though I'm an old face. I'm a new old face. And you don't know a whole lot about me. And I want to take, one of the reasons I'm doing this is to give you a chance to see what's important to me, to see what makes me tick, basically. I try to look at this from your standpoint and think, okay, if I were away from home and you walked into my study, what would you see on my bookshelves that you would think, what is that? Or why in the world is he saving that? Over the next months, I want to answer those questions and let you know what some of the stuff that's important to me, why I have some things. I'll share like behind me are some non-firing replicas. The guns that are in my study aren't real. I have some non-firing replicas that I have used at schools and other places. I took one of them with us Saturday. We went to Flatiron Park here in Apache Junction for a huge event. We're there we set up a little after 7 in the morning and stayed till almost 5 o'clock with a book table. Met a lot of people, sold a few books. Got some invitations to other events. We had a great day. And I took one of my non-firing replicas with me. I'm not sure I was supposed to do that, but nobody said anything. And there were some of the people we talked to were mounted rangers and police officers and so forth. So I guess I wasn't doing anything wrong. It wasn't a real gun. But I want to show you a couple of things today that are important to me. If you walked into my study and saw what I'm going to show you today, probably your first thought would be, why? Why are you saving that? For instance, let me show you. This postcard, I'll turn it, see if I can turn it so I get the glare off. This postcard I got in the mail at the end of July get something to drink while I'm putting my glasses on. Okay. July 22nd, 2006. So I probably got it around the 30th or so. 2006. That's a year before Susie and I got married. You think, why would you save this? Now, I have to tell you this. Garden of the Gods is called that for a reason. It's a breathtaking place. The scenery here, this little postcard doesn't do the scenery justice, but it's breathtaking. I have driven past and stood at the base of those enormous rocks. Years ago, Susie and I we worked for, 11 years, I think, at Yogi Bear's Jellystone Park in Fremont, Indiana. The last 6 or 7 of those years, we started coming out here in the wintertime before we moved here 2 years ago. But we'd come out here for the winter, work there in Indiana in the summertime, come out here and work in a big park out here in the winter because that's how we made our living. And we lived in our motorhome, so we were able to park it in the park where we worked. And I worked for lot rent, and because I worked here, they didn't charge us anything for lot rent. And then Susie worked at a penny store usually, and she made the money that paid most of our bills. But the reason I saved this card is not the postcard itself. not the scenery on the front. It's what's on the back that makes it special. This is what it says. Dear Mr. Redmond, how is your summer going? We're in Colorado. The weather here is pretty nice. We went to the Royal Gorge yesterday and went whitewater rafting. Okay, Susie and I have never done that, and we never will. That's just not my idea of fun, but they had a blast. We also went on this ride called the Sky Coaster. It was like you were flying off the edge of a cliff. We're not going to do that one either. Never did, never will. I couldn't even get Susie to look at that one. It was like you were flying off the edge of a cliff. We also drove on a trail in the Garden of the Gods, and it was beautiful. Now, that one we have done a number of times, and it is breathtaking. The family says hi, and we're praying for you. And I know, a lot of times people say, we'll pray for you, and you don't really know if that's going to happen or not. These people prayed for me. They may still pray for me. I pray for them every day. And they may still be praying for me too. But it's signed Love, the Durand family. Joe Durand worked for Notre Dame, while his wife, Jan, was our science teacher at Grace Baptist and Granger Christian Schools. One of my best friends, those two, one of the best couples I've ever known. I had both their daughters, Jeanette and Jessica, in my classes, and the girls are adults now, and some of my dearest friends. I treasure their friendship. That's why this card is still on my shelf and will be probably until the day I die or get moved into a nursing home. The other postcard I wanted to show you is this one. Now, a number of you had me for an English teacher years ago, and you should recognize this guy. I like to take each year. I tried to take 10th, 11th, and sometimes 9th, 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades through a book. Well, since 12th grade was British literature, we often went through a Dickens book. Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, Tale of Two Cities, something along that line. And we'd read the book, and then we had tests on, of course, because it was school. And then we'd watch the movie version of it. And we had so much fun with this. So, I'm very familiar with Dickens's works. And I thoroughly enjoy reading them. I still have some in my library. But I didn't keep this postcard because it's a picture of Charles Dickens. Here's why I kept it. The date on this one is December 29th, 2017. Mr. Redmond, this card made me think of you, and I thought you would like it. Thank you for being a godly man. I remember Joanne cross-stitched you a picture of an author that looked like this. Was it him? And by the way, it was. Thank you for being such a blessing to Joanne at Grace. Love and prayers, Vicki Pennington. The Pennington family, Paul and Vicki and Joanne, attended. I had Joanne in my class for years, and she had seizures, and not too long after she graduated, she was driving by herself, and she had a seizure, and her car left the road, and she was killed in the crash. Several years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago, Vicki's husband, Paul, also went to heaven, so Vicki's by herself now. One of the most gracious Christian ladies I have ever known. When our daughter was in need, Vicki found out about it, came over with a bunch of canned goods, enough to last for a month probably, for our daughter and her family. Just an incredible Christian lady, prays for me, reads everything I write, and then tells me it's good. Some of you are thinking, so her mind's going. No, it's not really. She is just a doll, a sweet lady, and has been such a good friend to Susie and me. The third thing I want to show you isn't special because of the person who gave it to me necessarily, because I made it myself. It's it is special because of the person who talked me into making it myself. We worked when we were working at Yogi, we lived in our motorhome. We'd come out here and work in the wintertime. And we worked at some enormous, fancy parks. We're talking about, they had ceramic shops and classes for all these things, a woodworking shop. They had, softball, all kinds of card games that I never heard of before, jewelry making classes, and one of the classes was a wood carving class. And my friend Tom talked me into going to it. I knew nothing about carving. So these old fellas in there, I say old because I was probably the youngest person in the room, just took me under their wing, told me what kind of wood I needed to get, what wood carving tools I needed, where I could find them. In fact, a couple of them loaned me tools the first time I went there because I didn't have anything. And showed me, let me borrow books that had explanations written out and how-to instructions for wood carving and stuff. So when I finished, and I was there for, I think I was working at the park, so I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I did manage to finish a single project. I started a second one, but I didn't finish it. I still have it in my woodworking kit in the closet where it's been for 6 years probably. But anyway, and I will get it out and finish it. It's a cowboy. It's a cowboy from like here up, a little wooden cowboy about this big. And yes, I want to finish it. But this is my woodworking masterpiece, my wood carving masterpiece. Look at this. And if you're sitting there saying, what is that? Shame on you. It's obviously a dog. See, its tongue is sticking out like that. It doesn't move or anything, but it also, I never have to take it out for a walk and clean up after it or anything like that either. So it's actually the ideal dog. And I'm pretty proud of that. I had fun making it, made some good friends. You're in with serious woodworkers when you hear two old guys talking and one of them says, what'd your wife get you for your anniversary? And he said, she got me a tree. And he wasn't kidding. She got these guys carved big stuff sometimes, and she got him like I'm talking about a tree this big around and probably 15 feet long, a huge section of a tree for their anniversary. So, they were really serious guys. But there's another thing that I want to share with you. I want to keep up. I'll try to get another episode out within a week, so that you so I can continue to share some of the stuff with you. I have all kinds of ideas. I have non-firing replicas that I want to show you. I want to show you how the firearms back in the old days worked, and some of those firearms are special because Susie got me some of them. And I want to show you some of the books that people have given me over the years that are special. Some of my students have given me books that I still have and I'll never get rid of, not because the books are special, but because the students are special. So I'll share some of that. I also, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, my blog, go by www.marklredmond.com and join my posse. You just sign up for my newsletter. No cost, no obligation, but I'll fill in the gaps between these things, let you know what we've been doing. Like we have a book signing coming up Saturday at Half Price Books, where we were back in August. In fact, we had the best book signing we've ever had in that bookstore. So we'll be back there Saturday, meeting new people, talking with old friends. In fact, it's funny. Last August when we were there, a family stopped by to see us, and some of you will recognize this name. Todd Eric and his sister Shelley were students in my classes, and Tom and Phyllis were very good friends of our family. well, Todd lives out here now, and he drove like an hour and a half to come to the book signing so that he could visit with us. He and his wife Danielle, and in fact he brought his kids too, who are grown-ups now. But that was a real blessing. But sign up for that newsletter, and we'll keep you up with the things that are going on in our lives, and also try to throw in some interesting things about history and where I am in writing. I am working on the next Nate Landry book right now. I'm about halfway through it, and then as soon as I finish that, I'll start on the next Box M Gang book. Hopefully, I would like to have the Nate Landry book out by Christmas. I'm pretty sure I won't make it with the Box M Gang, but I'll get it out early in 2023. That's it for now, folks. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again soon. Happy trails.